Welcome to a journey where the smallest actions can lead to the biggest changes. Today, we're diving into the world of microhabits, those tiny, almost invisible actions that, when repeated consistently, have the power to reshape your behavior, your identity, and ultimately your life. Forget about dramatic transformations or sudden bursts of motivation. Real growth is subtle, often unimpressive in the moment, but over time, it's what truly changes who you become. This isn't just another motivational talk, it's behavioral science, explained in a way that's easy to understand and apply. Let's start by reframing how we think about personal growth. Imagine a huge mountain labeled goals. Most people see personal growth as this massive peak to conquer, a single daunting challenge that requires a burst of motivation and leads to a dramatic transformation. We're taught to aim high and expect big results quickly, but in reality, growth almost never happens this way. The truth is, the journey to the top is rarely a straight line. It's not about one giant leap, but a series of small, steady steps. Let's take a closer look at why this traditional view of growth often sets us up for disappointment. Now let's erase part of that mountain and redraw it as a series of small steps. Real growth is quiet and unimpressive, almost invisible on a day-to-day basis. You might not notice any changes at first, but over time, these tiny actions add up. They completely change who you become, not through sudden transformation, but through gradual, consistent effort. It's the small, repeated steps that make the biggest difference in the long run. This is the foundation of microhabits, and it's what we'll be exploring throughout this video. What exactly are microhabits? They're the smallest possible actions you can take, so easy that you can't say no to them. When repeated consistently, these tiny behaviors reshape your routines, your mindset, and even your sense of self. Microhabits aren't about making huge changes overnight. Instead, they're about building a foundation for lasting growth, one small step at a time. Throughout this video, we'll break down the science behind microhabits and show you how to use them to transform your life. This isn't about hyping you up or giving you a quick burst of inspiration. We're focusing on behavioral science, real evidence-based strategies that work. Microhabits are grounded in research, not just wishful thinking. By understanding the science behind how habits form and stick, you'll be better equipped to make changes that last. Let's start by exploring why big habits and dramatic changes so often fail. Let's talk about why big habits often don't work out. Many of us set ambitious goals, thinking that a major change will lead to success. But more often than not, we start strong and then quietly give up. The reason? Big habits demand a lot of motivation and willpower, which are both unreliable resources. When you rely on these alone, you're building your growth on a fragile foundation. Let's dig deeper into the motivation myth. It's a battery icon labeled motivation. Motivation is like a battery, it runs out. It fluctuates based on how much sleep you get, your stress levels, your emotions, your environment, and even your past failures. Some days you feel charged up and ready to go, but other days you're running on empty. When you depend on motivation, you're setting yourself up for inconsistency. That's why so many people start strong and then quietly quit when their motivation fades. Depending on motivation is like building on sand. It's unstable and unpredictable. You might have a surge of energy at the start, but as soon as life gets busy or stressful, your motivation drops. That's when most people quietly give up on their big goals. The key is to build habits that don't rely on motivation at all. That's where microhabits come in. They're so small, you can do them even on your worst days. Let's talk about your brain's energy budget. Imagine a brain with a limited energy bar. Every decision you make throughout the day, what to eat, what to work on, whether to exercise, or whether to focus or procrastinate, costs mental energy. Big habits demand a lot: planning, decision-making, and sustained effort. This creates cognitive overload, making it even harder to stick with new routines. Your brain naturally resists this overload. Big habits require a lot of mental effort. You have to plan, make decisions, and keep up sustained effort day after day. This quickly drains your brain's limited energy, leading to decision fatigue and resistance. That's why it's so hard to stick with big changes, especially when life gets busy. Microhabits solve this problem by making each action so small that it barely uses any mental energy at all. Microhabits are designed to reduce the cost of action. By making each step tiny and manageable, you remove the mental barriers that usually get in the way. Instead of trying to overhaul your life overnight, you focus on the smallest possible action, something you can do even when you're tired, stressed, or unmotivated. This is how microhabits help you build momentum and consistency, one small step at a time. Many people fall into the all-or-nothing trap. They believe that if they do everything perfectly, they succeed, but if they miss once, they've failed. This mindset leads to extremes. Either you're all in or you give up completely. Microhabits destroy this way of thinking. Instead of aiming for perfection, you focus on continuity. Even if you miss a day, you simply pick up where you left off. It's about progress, not perfection. Microhabits teach you to value continuity over perfection. Instead of giving up after a missed day, you simply start again. This approach removes the pressure to be perfect and makes it easier to stick with new behaviors over the long term. By focusing on small, consistent actions, you build habits that last. Let's move on to the science behind how microhabits actually work. Now let's explore the science behind microhabits. Every habit, no matter how big or small, follows the same basic loop: cue, action, reward. Understanding this loop is the key to building habits that stick. Microhabits make it easy to complete the loop, even when motivation is low. By focusing on tiny actions, you create a positive feedback cycle that reinforces your new behavior. Let's break down the habit loop. First, there's the cue, a trigger that reminds you to act. Next is the action, the behavior itself. Finally, there's the reward, a positive signal that reinforces the habit. The problem with big habits is that the reward often feels too far away. Microhabits solve this by making the action so small and easy that you can experience a sense of accomplishment right away. One of the secrets to building lasting habits is immediate rewards. When you complete a microhabit, you get a quick sense of accomplishment. This positive feeling reinforces the behavior and makes it more likely you'll repeat it. Over time, these small wins add up, creating a powerful cycle of growth. Let's look at how to design microhabits that fit seamlessly into your daily life. Design effective microhabits. Start by identifying a cue, a specific trigger that reminds you to act. Then choose the smallest possible action you can take. Make it so easy that you can do it even on your busiest days. Finally, find a way to reward yourself, even if it's just a quick mental pat on the back. The easier and more rewarding the habit, the more likely it is to stick. Let's look at some examples. Want to start exercising? Make your microhabit just putting on your workout shoes. Want to read more? Commit to reading 1 page a day. Want to eat healthier? Add 1 vegetable to your plate. These actions are so small, they're almost impossible to skip. Over time, they build momentum and lead to bigger changes. Magic of microhabits is in their ability to build momentum. Each tiny action is a small win that boosts your confidence and motivation. As you string together these wins, you start to see progress. This creates a positive feedback loop that makes it easier to keep going, even when life gets busy or challenging. When it comes to building new habits, consistency is more important than intensity. It's better to do a tiny action every day than to go all out once and then quit. Microhabits make consistency easy by lowering the barrier to action. Even on your worst days, you can still make progress. Over time, this steady effort leads to extraordinary growth. Microhabits don't just change your behavior, they change your identity. Each time you complete a tiny action, you're casting a vote for the kind of person you want to become. Over time, these votes add up, and you start to see yourself in a new light. You become someone who exercises, someone who reads, someone who eats healthy. This identity shift is what makes microhabits so powerful. The real power of microhabits comes from the compound effect. Each tiny action might seem insignificant on its own, but over weeks and months, the results add up. Just like compound interest, small, consistent actions lead to massive growth over time. This is how microhabits can completely transform your life, even if you don't notice the changes right away. Setbacks are a normal part of any growth journey. The beauty of microhabits is that they make it easy to get back on track. If you miss a day, it's no big deal, you just start again the next day. This approach removes the guilt and pressure that often come with bigger goals. It's about progress, not perfection. Tracking your microhabits can help you stay consistent. Use a simple checklist or habit tracker to mark off each day you complete your tiny action. Seeing your progress visually can be motivating and help you build momentum. Remember, the goal is to keep the streak going, not to be perfect. Don't underestimate the power of celebrating small wins. Each time you complete a microhabit, take a moment to acknowledge your effort. This positive reinforcement helps solidify the habit and makes it more enjoyable. Over time, these small celebrations add up, making it easier to stick with your new routines. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes your routines will need to change. The beauty of microhabits is their flexibility. If something isn't working, adjust your habit to make it even smaller or easier. The goal is to keep moving forward, no matter what life throws your way. One powerful strategy is habit stacking, linking a new microhabit to an existing routine. For example, after you brush your teeth, do 1 push-up. By attaching your new habit to something you already do, you make it easier to remember and stick with it. Over time, you can stack more microhabits to build a powerful routine. Visibility is key to building new habits. Place reminders in your environment to prompt your microhabit. For example, leave your book on your pillow to remind you to read before bed. The more visible your habit, the more likely you are to follow through. Having social support can make it easier to stick with your microhabits. Share your goals with a friend or join a group with similar interests. Encouragement and accountability from others can boost your motivation and help you stay on track, especially when you're struggling. Your environment plays a huge role in shaping your habits. Make it easy to do the right thing by arranging your space to support your microhabits. For example, keep healthy snacks visible if you want to eat better, or set out your workout clothes the night before. Small changes in your environment can make a big difference. Identify and remove any barriers that make it harder to complete your microhabits. If you want to read more, put your phone in another room. If you want to exercise, choose a workout that doesn't require special equipment. The fewer obstacles you have, the easier it is to stay consistent. Once your microhabit feels automatic, you can gradually increase the difficulty. Add a few more minutes to your workout, read an extra page, or eat an additional serving of vegetables. The key is to make changes slowly so you don't overwhelm yourself and risk quitting. Microhabits help you avoid burnout by keeping each action manageable. Instead of pushing yourself to the limit, you focus on steady, sustainable progress. This approach makes it easier to stick with your habits for the long haul without feeling exhausted or overwhelmed. Microhabits can be applied to any area of life: health, learning, relationships, or productivity. The key is to start small and build gradually. Whether you want to exercise more, learn a new skill, or improve your relationships, microhabits make it possible to make progress every day. Want to be more productive? Try microhabits like writing one sentence, organizing one item, or planning your day for just 5 minutes. These tiny actions can help you overcome procrastination and build momentum, leading to bigger accomplishments over time. Improving your health doesn't require drastic changes. Start with microhabits like drinking a glass of water in the morning, taking a short walk, or adding one healthy food to your meals. These small actions are easy to maintain and can lead to significant improvements over time. If you want to learn something new, microhabits can help. Commit to studying for just 5 minutes a day, writing one paragraph, or practicing a skill for a few minutes. These small steps make learning less intimidating and help you build knowledge gradually. Strengthening relationships can start with microhabits too. Send a quick message to a friend, give a compliment, or spend a few minutes listening without distractions. These small actions help you stay connected and build stronger bonds over time. Regularly review your microhabits and reflect on your progress. Ask yourself what's working, what isn't, and how you can adjust. This ongoing reflection helps you stay on track and make improvements as needed, ensuring your habits continue to serve your goals. Remember, microhabits are about playing the long game. The changes might be small and slow at first, but over months and years, they add up to extraordinary growth. Stay patient and trust the process. The results will come if you keep moving forward, one tiny step at a time. Watch out for common pitfalls like trying to do too much too soon, losing patience, or giving up after a setback. Remember, the key to success with microhabits is to start small, stay consistent, and be kind to yourself when things don't go perfectly. Let's recap with a few real-life examples. Someone who wants to write a book starts by writing one sentence a day. Another person who wants to get fit begins with one push-up. Over time, these microhabits grow into bigger routines, leading to impressive results. The key is to start small and keep going. Now it's your turn. Think about one area of your life you'd like to improve. What's the smallest possible action you can take today? Start with that and commit to doing it every day. Remember, it's not about making huge changes overnight. It's about building a foundation for lasting growth, one tiny step at a time. Microhabits are the secret to extraordinary growth. By focusing on the smallest possible actions, you can make progress every day, no matter how busy or unmotivated you feel. Over time, these tiny steps add up to big changes. Trust the process, stay consistent, and watch as your life transforms, one microhabit at a time. Thank you for joining this exploration of microhabits. Remember, real growth doesn't happen in dramatic leaps. It happens in the quiet, consistent steps you take every day. Start small, stay patient, and let your microhabits guide you toward the person you want to become. Extraordinary growth is within your reach, one tiny action at a time.